Hello and welcome. This is an unlisted video just for lecturers and instructors on how to run the marketing mix simulation game that's available for free download on Great Ideas for Teaching Marketing. When you open the Excel file, it'll present like this. I've got some numbers here in the blue so we can see what's going on, but your file will come down blank and you'll either have a video or an instruction sheet that you'll give to students. Depending on your student cohort, you may want to give them this Excel file. That way they can play with what ifs, come up with different configurations for their marketing plan and strategy. I find that for more mature students, that's an ideal way of planning and more effective than doing it on paper. But then again, if you've got a younger group, that may not be appropriate, or they may not have access to Excel, which you need to do to run it. So you'll have decision sheets coming back from each of your student teams. So team 1 across to team 10 for brand A, and there's also a brand B decision. If you're worried about the learning curve of your students, you could play with brand A only, so they only have one brand, or perhaps one brand only for the first round until they get the hang of the game, and then go from there. Okay, so what will happen is that all this is protected. So if I go type somewhere, go to put something in, it's going to say it's protected. Okay, so everywhere except the blue here is protected. This is where we can enter data. Anywhere else, it's pretty safe to use. Quality level, this is a quality of the TV, 10 being the highest. Again, if you put a wrong number in, say 20, it'll say, no, you can't do that. So it's relatively foolproof all the way through. It has validation sitting under all of these about what's allowable and not allowable. So they come in handy. The only thing you should avoid doing is picking up a cell and dragging it somewhere, because the formulas and the calculations behind the scenes. So if somebody changes their decision, you need to retype it rather than sort of dragging it across somewhere. Okay, so quality levels you put in, the design levels, all coming from the students. Okay, so just as a reminder, there are 3 segments. Okay, so this is the lower quality, lower price, mid-range, and then higher quality, higher price, etc. So all of these things will factor into the students' decisions, but we're going to look at what we're doing. We put the blue in, this calculates automatically. What you should be looking for is any students who have a profit margin that is quite low. It's like firm 3 here only has a $50 profit margin because their retail price, standard price is $2,000. Then they applying a 50% sales promotion discount, making their true price, a discounted price of only $1,000. And given the configuration, they're going to make $50 a unit compared to some players who are going to make more than 1,000. So firm 3 is clearly not going to make a lot of money. If I show you the results for firm 3, they have a 43% market share, yet their profit is only 3 million compared to some players making 80, 90, almost 90, 60 million there, etc. So you probably might want to warn that company, that team, they need to rethink 2 ways around it. They could lower the standard. So if this is all dynamic, so the unit cost will change, the margin will change. I'll make this 1, and you can see the unit cost has come down. Their margin is a lot more acceptable, and now they're making a lot more money, 87 odd million, okay, by that simple change, because here they're only making $50. Potentially, you could even lose money. So, and any negative there is not good because they've designed a superior TV for the price, or the discount's too much. So you could, again, they come back on the discount, bring in at a positive margin. I'll just undo that. Or they could increase the base price there, again, getting that up a little bit. So that's something you want to watch out for. All of these things calculate automatically for you. You don't have to worry about anything. And the channel reach estimate also calculates automatically. So if a company is choosing one channel, it's only going to cost them 2 million points, but they'll only get 50% reach. 2 will get you to 75% reach. 3 will get you to 90, and 4 will get you to 100% reach. And you can see the money is going up by 2 million per channel, and that's obviously on a per brand basis. These brands work independently of each other. There's no relationship between them other than they are competing in the marketplace. So each brand will take sales away from the other if they're positioned or targeted too closely together. So why wouldn't you pursue 100%? The way it's been structured is that sometimes the incremental difference, you're better off saving that 2 million. And also, once we get to 4 channels, the brand is seen as too commonplace. And behind the scenes, there's some brand equity points that are deducted. So 2 or 3 channels is typically the best for brand. 4 is the best for coverage. So you've got to weigh that off again, depending on what segment you're operating in. So all you go through is you make those decisions. And then once they've done, there's results, etc. And you just repeat for each round. Round 2, I've got some data there again, round 3, etc. as we go through. So here are the results that you can show students. And again, you cannot change it. So I type on it, it's not going to let me. And everything's there for you. Sales by brand, the price, that's the discounted price, the dollar or points revenue, total revenue for both brands, and then we've got all our cost structures, etc. And we work out the key number here, which is our net profit. Okay, so students need to be working to improve that. A more effective way of showing them would be the charts, where it graphs that data but has the unit sales, revenue, and this is done so you can copy and paste this. You can't change things. Again, if I could try to change something, but you can pick up the each of the charts and copy them somewhere if you wanted to, or students wanted to include them in a report or assignment you might structure. And this is the key metric. This is how they're all traveling. And I've just got some pretend data, and each round updates. So if I go all the way to the bottom, I've got the final round, and then we've got our final winner there by a long way. So that's probably at the end of each round, that's how you're performing. This gives you details. And the other tab we want to look at is shares. This is going to tell us market shares by segment. So each of these add up to 100. Obviously, in round 2, there are 2 brands there, brand A and then brand B. And again, they all add up to 100 for each segment, but just staying up here for the time being. And then we have a total market share. Now, as you can see, these don't add up because the segments are different sizes. So the budget segment initially is the largest, or remains the largest, but that's the medium size, that's the small size. This is growing quickly, growing fairly quickly, growing not really. It's a mature market. So that students need to weigh that up. But anyway, that's why we have a different market share here to what's here. For example, firm 10 has a 43% premium share, but only a 5% share overall. So premium adds up to 100,000 sales, and they have 43% of those. But the whole market adds up to 850,000 sales, which is only 5%. But this helps work out who your competitors are, or the student teams. Are we winning any sales in other segments, where the gaps are, etc. So this information, this is just a visual, and this information, and then the actual decisions made, very helpful information for teams to be able to work out what to do, etc., who to compete against. And they should be able to break down the analysis. There's a link below to the information, which you've probably seen. Keep in mind, I've structured the game so it's quite responsive, so teams can catch up and they can also lose their advantage. So there's always an element of competition, regardless of performance. It's generally based on market reality, but obviously it's just an estimation, so it's not 100% precise. It's really structured to make it very easy to use. It's fairly robust, and you could play it within a few hours. And you could repeat play the game, let the students play it, and then when they play it again, they're more experienced, and then see how their experience improves their performance, etc. The only thing I should point out, if you do not fill something in, so for example, somehow you missed a price for firm 8, we have a look at the results. Suddenly there are no results because something's missing. So suddenly it's all zero. We go to our charts. Everybody's losing money. It's all not good. If that looks a bit weird, we've missed something there. I'll just put that back in. So it will work provided we have all the data in here. Having said that, you can not have every team. So I've taken out 3 teams. The results work for those 3 teams, and we're only missing, and we've got the 7 teams there. Okay, so that will work, but missing data from one company when it's expecting something to be there, it's going to say, hang on a second, and that's a flag for you to work out that there's an error rather than producing data with an error. So I could take something out, say channels, and provide that for you, and it looked like, if that was full of data, you think nothing's wrong. That immediately tells you I've missed something. So again, we put that back in and everything's back. Okay, so that's how it works. Just let me know any questions. There's a lot of detail on the activity, plus there's information to give the students, plus there's a student video as well. So hopefully that's valuable for you, and let me know how you go with the game.